Hey guys, Michael from Napoleon Empire. We got an interview with Collin, and he's going to talk about his Vespiquen Flareon deck that he piloted to day two at Anaheim Regionals, and he's gonna talk about the deck and his Swiss and his day two. Sound good? Cool.
Good to me.
All right, Collin. So why don't you tell us why you chose the deck first?
Well, basically, I was very comfortable with it. I've been playing Flareon for as long as I can remember, back when you played it with Empoleon and even before that. So I kind of like had an idea how to play it pretty well. And I also piloted a very similar list to top 16 finish at North California Regionals just a few months before this. So I felt like I knew the deck really well, like just regardless.
Are you talking about San Jose Regionals?
Yeah, yeah,
All
just
right,
a few months before.
all right. So you had experience with it. How did your Swiss go?
Um,
If you
it
can
was,
remember
it
your
was
pairings.
yeah, yeah. It was actually I'm trying to remember. It started off really dicey. My first round I went against Night March, and I tied. I He mentioned he was a world's competitor in the past formats like 2009 to 10. So and he played pretty well. We just tied, and if I had one more turn, I would have won. You know how that goes,
Oh
but
yeah,
it's
one of
whatever.
those.
Yeah,
It's
and
the
then
worst.
exactly next round I went against Mirror Match, and I was like, oh no, I hate how this goes. But and then it came down to it. I ended up to two game three, and he top decked Lysander for win. Happens. So I was 0-1-1, and I was just like, my friends were like 2-0 and stuff, and I was just kind of down. And then I was like, I have to win out, or I can only lose one or
No, it's not that
whatever.
hard. You got this.
Yeah, yeah, and then to kind of what ended up happening, I just hit a streak of next round I played a Sableye Garbodor I beat because I mean it was 0-2 at the time I think. So it was just whatever.
Was it a
Not,
bad save like Arbiter player?
yeah,
Because like
it
that's
was
usually
just
a
like not
really hard matchup.
it. Well, it actually worked out in my favor because both games I started Eevee with Energy Evolution, and then I just like had Fire Energies and
Oh,
Blacksmith it.
okay, you did. Okay,
I kind of just like kind of ran hot, but at the same time I feel like their list was kind of just had
janky.
weird stuff in it. Yeah, so whatever. Ran through it 2-0. Next round after that, I hit a mirror match. I beat it. After that, an Evatol I beat.
Was it
So at
Evotar
that,
Archeops or was it just straight Evotar?
yeah, I was Evatol Archeops, but it didn't get out the Archeops one of the games, and then the next game it kind of got it out like too late. Didn't really even matter,
Hmm.
and I beat it. So at that point I was what 3-1-1,
Yeah.
and I was like I was feeling pretty good about myself. I was thinking like I have to win three more games out of four. That's doable. I played another mirror match, which I won on turn three of time, game three, so that was
Ooh,
crazy. Oh man,
the
what I did
stress.
is I had an unknown on my bench. I premonition, and the last card was a Verse Seeker for Lysander per game, so I put it
Uh,
on top. Unknown, drew it, Lysander, and I was like, oh, it
that's a good
felt
play.
nice.
It's a good play.
It felt really nice. Because if we would have tied, that would have been scary. Um, then I lost to the person who ended up getting second, playing Totina.
Francisco or Sorio.
Yeah, Osorio, yeah, something like that. He just 2-0'd me. One of the games I just like drew past and got benched, and then the next game, I actually set up, but he ran me out of energy, so I just like lost. Like I prized a DC and a fire.
I saw his list and he ran like two Team Flare Gun 206. So like that was
Yeah,
the fact that he
exactly.
did that isn't really surprising. It's
Yeah,
about time.
exactly. It was so weird. Like I wasn't expecting him to have like those flare guns each turn, and then like at one point he Lysandered up my shaman with a head ringer and just like I just like literally couldn't retreat, so he just waited till he got a because I only had one DC left. He
He
like
got a Tina
saw
up and
that.
then he came up.
Yeah, exactly, and I couldn't attach anymore, so that was it.
Hmm.
Um, so he beat me, and I was like, I had two more rounds left. I had to win out. The next round, I played another Evatol. Um, he didn't get Archeops. I don't think he played Archeops. Now that I think about it,
Straight.
yeah, just straight Evatol. Although it was interesting because he had Friday Night Evatol, so it made one of the games kind of close. But other than that, I just got a Jolteon out. It wasn't a big deal, and I ran through him.
Yeah,
And then last round of Swiss, you know who I played last round of
I
Swiss.
do. I got bodied.
Uh, I played against you. I mean, it really sucked because we were both Arizona players, and at the it sucks to play on the winning in.
Yeah, I was,
You
I
know,
was, I was like, I can go the entire day without facing Vespiquen Flareon, and then the last round, I was like, oh, you gotta be kidding me.
yeah, it sucked for you. That was such a bad matchup. You were playing Toad Genesect, so obviously just Vespiquen and Flareon are both your weaknesses there. So
Game
kind
two
of.
was pretty funny if I remember. Didn't we both start Shaman?
Oh my, yeah, we both started Shaman, and then we just like both like dead drew for like several turns. In
Four
fact,
turns.
you like in several turns you just like junipered and like would just draw nothing. Like I remember that, and it was crazy. I eventually just stayed alive. Like I remember getting a execute, and like you like I retreated my like lone basic to it, and you killed the execute, and I propagation to bring it back to make me survive an extra turn, and then the
Oh
next turn I
yeah.
got a juniper or something. And
You
so
just
just staying
stalled
alive
like that,
that
and I was
one,
like, oh my god. Didn't I
just
started Shaman looping? I think I Shaman
yeah,
looped.
you were like DC Shaman looping, bringing up another Shaman
Just
just
trying to
because we literally
like
had
keep
nothing.
alive. That
Exactly.
was
So I
not a
was
good
like,
game for either of us.
yeah. Eventually though, I got the juniper and I got set up, and rest is history.
Yeah,
So
nothing I can do. All right, so
yeah.
you won your winning in. You're now into day two. How you feeling?
I was feeling pretty good. Just the fact I'd made day two because it put me like super close to my invite, put me at 282 points. So I was just, if that's all I got from it, I was pretty happy.
Hmm.
There's a lot of like really weird like matchups in day two, like a lot of like bad ones. Like the Eels deck is a tough matchup with the Raikus and the Assault Vest.
Yeah.
There was a bunch of Evital Archeops
There's
and
also a lot of Groudon. I was like, ah,
yeah, which is actually surprisingly not really a good matchup for you because they just run you out of your energy and you just lose.
yeah,
So
I saw
it's
some of those.
weird.
It's pretty bad.
It's not you would think it's just like an easy win because you just like kill the ground on one shot, but that's not really how it
It's
goes.
not as easy as people think it is. I
Yeah,
make that argument.
exactly. In fact, I lost to a Groudon at NorCal when I played Vespiquen, and I was just so shocked. But,
You're
I was,
like, you sit down and they flip over a Groudon, and you're like, I
well,
got this. And then they beat you, and
exactly.
you're like, what happened?
Well, what happened was we already were guaranteed cut. It was the last round of Swiss, and I knew he was playing Groudon. And he's like, "Hey, yo, you just want an ID?" And I was like, "Bro, you're playing Groudon. Of course I don't." And then he beat me, and I was like, I felt like a
That's
douche.
such karma. Like I've had people offer me IDs all the time, and I'm like, I don't want to take it. I got the win, and they're like 2-0 me, and I'm like, what happened?
Well, I mean, we were already in cut. Otherwise, I probably would have just taken it. But like, I was like, okay, well, dang, I got wrecked. But I guess I'll explain my day too. So
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, yeah, but I came in at like 23rd seed or something, maybe 21st. I can't remember. One of those. Well, one of those is how I finish. One of those is how I start. That's all I know. But basically, I first round I had a no show. It was my opponent that beat me from the day earlier, playing Vespiquen, like a mirror match. And so when I found I got paired against him, I was like, oh dang, he's gonna beat me again. But then no, he actually went to Disneyland and just forfeited all his matches the second
He
day.
was
So
he was satisfied with the win.
yeah, I was like, okay, well, it's a happy day for him. It's a happy day for me. I'll take it. Um, so yeah, I was pretty excited. Like I only have to win a few more games to make cut, so I felt like that was pretty reasonable. The next match, I got paired against someone I don't remember their name. They were playing Evital, uh, and I started lone combi draw past both games, and he just got killed it both games
Ooh.
turn one. So I didn't even get to play both of my first two rounds at all, basically. So that kind of sucked.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
Third round, I played against the Israel Sosa. Um,
The Israel Sosa?
the Israel Sosa,
Ooh.
and I felt like I was like that's a weird matchup, but he was playing the Fright Night version with
Yeah,
no
he played
lasers.
two and like two parallel and two silent lab. His list
Yeah,
was really cool.
it was really spicy. It didn't he didn't get out Archeops either game, and he still won. That was crazy. Well, the first game I like drew pass. He just got too far ahead. By the time I was set up, it didn't really matter. And game two was really close, and he did the spiciest play. The only way he could win is he had to take two prizes on his turn to win the game, and if he didn't, I won. And I had a life dew on my lone, like on my only EX on the bench was a
Hmm.
Shaman,
Yeah.
and he had the Fright Night Evital, but he also had a Stadium, and so he Lysandered up he Lysandered up my Shaman, uh, because he had like a silent lab, so his ability didn't work, and then he was able to kill it. Or no, he counted his own stadium, made it so my life dew didn't work, and then killed the Shaman that same turn and took his last two prizes. It was
Oh,
pretty. So it was rough, but he ended up winning that game and winning the match. And so by then I was like, dang. So I was
1-2,
1-2.
day two.
I was like, dang. So probably couldn't make day two, but if I got top 16, I was still shooting for it. You get more packs. I think a box,
Yeah, I
and
think you get a box.
you get a box and 15 more points like I did earlier in the season. So I was thinking like I'll shoot for that, whatever. My next round I played against Tyler Bradley, who's also part of
Employee
YouTube
Empire.
channel.
Yeah.
Yep, your YouTube channel, and playing the same deck. So I felt like, hey, that's a pretty good matchup for me. He was really bummed he had to play against it.
I told him to. I was like, "Oh, you're facing Collin. Good luck, mate. You're out. You're not gonna win."
well, well, first game was extremely close. Came down to I prized like two Vespiquen and like my blacksmith, and like I just like couldn't get going. He towed it early. Um, I ended up getting quite a bit of prizes. Yet my two best were like two of my last three or something. And then he just ended me and Quaking Punched, and I just didn't draw energy, and he stole the game. But just Quaking Punch, that happens. Like they'll just like lock you up enough where
They'll
just
end
like
you to a low hand, and then it's
yeah.
lose.
Even if it is a good matchup, you just there's nothing you can do to finish off the game.
Yeah.
Game two, he drew pretty bad if I remember. He didn't get off a Quaking Punch till like turn 4 or 5, and I just like just steamrolled. Got energies down, whatever.
Yeah.
Game three, I'm trying to remember. I think it was just one of those. I was just like draw passing again, and kind of like I think I want to say it was like almost exactly like how game one went. He just towed it early. Oh, he gets just a hand of like 6 or 7 away.
Oh.
And then yeah, that's what it was. And then at that point I just couldn't come back. I didn't draw anything. I actually put myself in a position where my only card in hand, like I've already played a supporter that turn to put me in the position, but my only card in hand was the Maxis. So basically my next top deck had to be playable, so I could play the Maxis.
I've been in that situation so
And I was
often
just like
where I'm like,
hoping.
if
I
I
was like,
top deck energy, I'm good.
if I get like an energy or like a basic or something, I'm golden, and like I could come back in this game. And nope, it was like
Another Vespiquen.
Yeah. I think it was actually. I think it was actually a Vespiquen, but I had no Combi, so it
That
still was.
hurts.
So yeah, he won that game. So then at that point I was like, nah, whatever. Last game I played against Kenny Britton,
Playing Groudon?
playing Night March, I think. Okay. Here's the reason I don't remember. We ID'd. It was the last round.
Okay. You guys
was
both
last
knew you
round.
weren't.
Yeah, we couldn't get top 16 even if we won, regardless. And like it ended up being like that way even after we looked at the standings. There was even if we would have won, we wouldn't have had enough match points.
That makes sense.
And so so we just like ID'd and just went and hung out,
Yeah.
So then I finished like 21st, 23rd, like I said. So that was my day two.
It's a
pretty
really
crappy.
solid regionals run. It's not like amazing, but it's like it's pretty good.
I'll take it, right? I'll take it. Day two
closer to the invite, get you better.
Exactly.
So you're pretty close to invite. 285, you said.
282.
282.
Yeah. So I'm just
pretty close. You got it. Just get like 1 states. You got this.
Yeah, exactly, right.
So let's talk about the deck.
Right.
Did you use a skeleton list off like anyone's, or did you? Because there's a lot of similarities, and then there's also like really cool techs. If you want to talk about those.
Yeah, sure. Well, as you guys know, or you've probably seen the Kevin Baxter list that he got like second with at the regionals. Like I think it was just like the week before this one.
Week before, yeah.
Yeah, I'd already been testing a variant with Gallade that I really liked, but I didn't know how big Evital Archeops was going to be, so I liked the Gallade idea, and I liked the Wobbuffet idea because I didn't have that in my list. So I added one, but I also liked having Hex Maniac, so I kept the Hex Maniac in. So there's like a few differences.
So you have those 2 outs that you can get. Yeah, Archeops. I get that.
I didn't want to rely on the Wobbuffet. In fact, even having the Wobbuffet, it didn't help me all tournament. I mean, I didn't really run into having like Archeops be a problem in the first place. Yeah, I think like one time, like early in the event, I like hexed to evolve one guy, and it wasn't even a big deal. So, Wobbuffet didn't really help me that much. So if I could change that, maybe I would. But overall, the Jolteon helped. The Execute was a huge deal actually. I didn't. I mean, like Kevin Baxter's list didn't play one at all, but it was huge. I mean, in situations where I didn't have to discard key cards, it also helped like even in situations like our game where it kept me alive a few turns even.
Yeah.
Being able to propagation that actually helped in early in the event too. So that card was really helpful. Also, the Silver Bangle was nice. I would almost want a second one if I could.
How did you feel about the A spec? Would you have? Did it hurt your consistency?
That's an interesting question because I mean, honestly, I love computer search, and I feel like
Who doesn't,
mirror
man?
like
It's like the best.
yeah, exactly. And you run the life dew for like to help with mirror a lot. It's supposed to give you the edge, and just in general, it helps.
Hmm.
But I also feel like a lot of games, a lot of mirror match games are just won by like end. Like if the other person's ahead, you just end them, and then they can't draw DC, and you win.
Yeah. Then you win.
So exactly. So I also felt like it was kind of like not even needed. Like almost computer search would have been better. So it wasn't like a big huge deal. It's like a toss up. Honestly, I think I might have ran computer search if I hadn't go again. But I mean it wasn't like a huge bad thing.
Okay. In the stadium, how did you like the stadium?
Okay, I have beaches, so it wasn't like a huge problem. But I was like a lot of people who like didn't have beaches wanted to run it, and a lot of people or like
Didn't
were
have
like asking.
beaches.
Yeah, exactly. So, but like I did, and I was like, I kind of was like, I just felt like the stadium wasn't even needed at all, even though I had beaches. Like I just felt like it wasn't like,
It was more of just a counter stadium to get your
yeah,
opponents out.
yeah. I felt like Perilous City would have been better, but no, boy was I wrong. Beach was awesome. Like the times I would draw it on like my first turn, because you go through your deck pretty fast.
Hmm.
Just even mid game, it's like, oh, I missed a DCE this turn, beach for like whatever, 5. It was awesome. I really liked having the beach. I could even see the argument for 2. It
Yeah.
was that good. I really liked it.
And one more question about the deck, or the deck list itself. Did you ever get laser donked?
Uh, no, I never got laser donks. Well, I mean, technically, I guess one of my opponents in day 2 quaking punched with a laser to knock me out, but
Oh
it
no, I'm
was
talking about
just,
like with the execute, where like your opponent
oh
goes
no,
first. Oh,
no,
okay,
that never happened.
okay. Well, that's good then. It's
But
always like
I,
really
it
disheartening
never
when like
backfired, I guess.
yeah
I
when
did
you
start with it a few
when
times,
you
but
start a and your opponent's just like, I got laser bank in hand, man.
hey, if you start with it and they kill it, it's like sweet. Now I don't have to discard it. Thanks, man.
Feels good.
Yeah, no, not really. It's pretty bad this time.
All right. So have you done any? Do you know any of the breakpoint cards? I'm guessing you're
uh,
somewhat familiar with them at this point.
yeah. I've taken a look at the set and whatnot.
So a lot of people are saying this deck becomes a lot less viable just because of things like Fighting Fury Belt and the new edition of the Dark Rise, which is pretty good against this deck. What do you think about that?
Well, the main like format we're gonna be testing is like standard anyways for states, and Vespiquen really hasn't been a strong contender in standard. It's just like outclassed by like Night March, which is really good in standard, and faster. So I honestly I feel like whatever chance it did have, it's kind of gone.
Okay.
And expanded, I still think it'll still be fine. I mean, it's Vespiquen. I think it'll still be a perennial archetype, for spring regionals or whatever.
Yeah.
This breakpoint affects this specific deck in this format, but in standard, I really don't think it has much of a shot now.
All right. Do you think okay, if you could redo the tournament all over again, would you play this deck? And if you would, what changes would you make?
If I could redo the whole tournament, yeah, I would play this deck again. It was really good, but like the changes I said earlier, I would make maybe drop the Wobbuffet, maybe play a third Shaman or a second Beach or a second Bengal.
Okay.
I would probably change all my EV to the Energy Evolution. I know having 60 HP is really good, but there were just a lot of times where just like having Energy Evolution was just like strictly better.
Yeah.
Um, But those are all like whatever changes. Even having a second Lysander would have been nice in some situations. I'm just looking at the list. But yeah, other than that, no, the list was pretty good. I could also see the argument for not having Gallade at all, but because I just didn't get it like too often. But honestly, it was just nice having the crutch. So I mean,
Yeah, it was nice when he got it. And
yeah, exactly, right.
just
So
another 10 damage when he didn't.
exactly.
All right. Any shout outs you want to make? I know you're on Team C, so
Yeah,
probably want to shout
well,
out.
I guess thanks to them, they helped me test. They loaned me some cards. They always lend support, and a few other of them made day two at that tournament. A lot of us have invites. They're just a great group of people, honestly. If I were to shout out anyone, I think Hayden, who also made day two at this regionals, is doing
Yeah,
a
he beat
few
me
with you
too.
guys.
I felt bad.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Ah, screw these Team C guys,
I
right?
know, right? I was like,
Uh,
oh, Team C, man.
uh, no, but no, they're a great group of guys, and they're all like top players, man. They killing it this year with like regionals, finals finishes, and just whatnot. I'm just glad to like if anything, just like bounce ideas off of like such a great group of guys. We have like a Facebook group where we always like talk and stuff, and that's really the greatest thing.
Yeah,
But
it's really cool. I
but yeah,
definitely
I
get that.
guess that's all I really test with and stuff. Other than that, it's just like me and my cousin Aiden in Arizona, and other than that, that's pretty much it.
It's not bad. All right. Well, thanks for doing the interview. And what events are you going to next?
I guess I'm going to Las Vegas States, which is not this
Next
weekend, but
next
the
weekend.
next weekend, and then after that, yeah, I guess Arizona States or whenever that is, and then maybe that'll be it.
Cool. Hopefully you get your invite.
Yeah,
All right.
thank you.
Hopefully we see you again, Colin.
All right,
Thanks for
take
the
care.
interview.
Thank you so much.